that are Hoosier, or I believe it's General Tire Arena Cross now, which broadcasts on NBC Sports. And so we have an annual contract with our Arena Cross promoter, which helps garner us national attention for the facility and produce those events that get televised all over the country for people to see our facility here in Topeka, Kansas. So a really exciting opportunity for us. In addition to that, moving into this year and the coming years, we've been able to confirm and secure a contract for a 3-year extension on our 2 large demolition derbies. So those will now run through 2026 in our contract year. We are looking to add a 3rd demolition derby throughout the year for our summer programming time frame. We're looking to add a summer date for our PRCA bull riding content, in addition to the New Year's Eve Extreme bull riding. A big piece that we've been working on recently, these have all happened over the last month. It looks like we're going to be picking up about 3 to 5 events that used to participate and take place at Heartland Motorsports Park. So bringing those over to the facilities is going to be a great capture of business, so that way that business doesn't leave the market. We brought back 3 events last year, well 2 last year, 3 this year, which haven't been back to us since COVID into Exhibition Hall, so that's a great pickup for us. And then we're working on a very large cornhole event, similar to ACL Cornhole, which we produced last year, and bringing that into the facility in March of 2025. Some of what we'll talk through as we navigate the space today is future growth and future development of the space. One thing we're really focused on, both locally here at the facility, but also with Visit Topeka and the Greater Topeka, the Topeka Area Sports Commission, thank you, Sean, is the activation of more youth sports activities in the space. And what that's going to take is some infrastructural investment to make that a little bit more feasible. And have the ability to attract that business into the marketplace. We're specifically talking about things like sport courts, which we could lay down in the facility. The commissioners have some of that analysis and that packet information in your packets. We do have the ability to produce about 12 courts between Exhibition Hall and Landon Arena to do youth sports activities. That's either volleyball or basketball. There is additional support infrastructure that will be needed to produce that type of content, but the sport court piece itself is the biggest hurdle for these event producers and promoters to overcome. So we're going to be talking about that investment and that return on investment. And then also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Kansas Kids Wrestling. We do have 1 year left on that contract before it goes back out to bid. It looks like it's going to be going out to bid here in the next couple of months. Happy to report we did fantastic numbers and fantastic event production on that event this year. So bringing that back is going to be an awesome opportunity, not only for the facility, but for the community as a whole. It's a huge economic impact to the city and to the county. And having that business stay in Topeka is a high priority on our list. I did want to talk about some promoter involvement that we've had throughout the past couple of years. We've contracted 2 promoters that we've been working with. For those of you who might not know what promoters do, they typically route content to our buildings and or supplement all of the financial risk or a portion of that financial risk. We've got 2 promoters that we've worked with over the past year. We have 1 promoter who's very active in our facility and in our space right now. We have 4 offers out with that promoter. Those are live entertainment offers, things like concerts and to that type of event content. And then we're working on a 3rd promoter coming in for the Latin live event space. So really excited about those pieces. Questions on any of that before we kind of get running? I just gave you the full rundown. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about.
Helen, the curtains that we have up here, are these rentals or these owned by the facility?
These are not owned by the facility. These are provided through ACA events. Abby Wimpy is an owner in that company. She produces a lot of the content, the larger kind of catered convention type content that takes place in the facility. So these are floor to ceiling drapes. We do these drapes for a number of events throughout the year, most notably things like the Kansas Chamber Banquet Dinner. I think Visit Topeka's State of the Union and State of the City has used these before, and then events like the 2030 Gala as well. We also have carpeting on site that doesn't cover the entire span of Exhibition Hall, but it covers about 50,000 square feet of the space, and that's black carpet. We do store that on site. That is owned by the Topeka 2030 Club, and we utilize it for that event, but also have the ability to rent that out to other events, so the facility and 2030 Club can generate revenue off of that. All right. This space here, Exhibition Hall, is about just shy of 75,000 square feet of space. It's cordoned off into 3 sections for tonight's event. This is kind of your reception area. Actually, you know what? Brian's probably best to talk about this. Sure. For this space, for tonight's activities, and go through the other.
Yeah, sure. So what's beautiful about X Hall, ever since they did the extension, it allows us 2 major functions. One, it gives us the ability to hold landing arena full events and still hold trade shows or private dinners in X Hall, not having to take up space for either event. So it allows us to have more events. The secondary functions in here, as you can see, when we use the drapes, we can split it off as in tonight into separate receptions, separate areas for events, breakout meetings. And then the other part it gives us is concessions for trade shows. So we have a full concession stand. We call it the deli. Fryers, flat tops, grills, all the good stuff over there, so we can service any trade shows or any of those needs. The other nice part about this area is we have hardline internet access or Wi-Fi access, which allows us to have the portables, POS systems, so we can set up tents, bring in subcontractors, food subcontractors that are to pull in and work, and we can utilize our POS systems on those. Really, it's a great space.
Yeah.
Is that about
it? Prior to the renovations, we did expand the facility northward. Prior to the renovations, it was 44,500 square feet of flat floor space. That bumped up to just shy of about 75,000. Included in that expansion were supplementary support areas on the east side of the building. So that's going to be all of our storage areas, additional bathrooms, restrooms, concession areas, a service elevator, ADA accessible service elevator on the northeast corner, an access link to Manor Conference Center, which is a stair link on the northwest corner, and additionally a third overhead roll-up door, which is the largest entry point we have into the facility. Also, we brought in a commercial kitchen, or renovated the previous concession space into a commercial kitchen over here, kind of on the southwest side of the building. So.
And the space is great. I mean, for the demo derbies, for you guys that have been here, there's just so many multi-purpose functions. I mean, full vehicle space. Anything we could utilize.
Yeah, so for the demo derbies, this is a kind of trade show space and teching area. So they have 3 lifts, hydraulic lifts that they lift the cars up and check to make sure. I don't know how you cheat in demolition derby. I would assume it's adding too much metal to your car, but they do tech and check all of those areas over here on the west side of the building. And then this is kind of like vendor row, where they have car parts for sale, and they do all of their production campaigns and some of their support infrastructure for the events. We can kind of walk into the space so you can get a better visual of some of tonight's activities.
You didn't know you'd have a Wing King available, did you? Royalty.
So this space for tonight will be a little bit more along the lines of a kind of bar area and reception area. I believe food service is there.
So food service, dining areas right over there. They've got a reception, two multiple reception areas and bar areas.
And so as they move in for the event tonight, they'll go into the main hall area for tonight's event, where they'll sit at their tables, be served a fully catered meal by our hospitality team, and listen to the addresses being made from the stage and the keynote speaker. Just about 700 attendees. So I think we'll have between staff and support staff. From
Good morning, Commissioner. Good to see you. Cheers.
We've done Governor's Ball with 1,500 close to with
Commissioner?
all the support staff.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good to see
Henry.
you.
Yeah, so like tonight, what we'll do like.
Wow.
Looks nice.
Man, is this just for us?
It's a little different. A little different setup if you've been to the facility in the past for some of these functions. A little different structure. Typically, what most of events and shows have done is produce the production area and the stage on the north end of the building, playing towards the south. This one is set up where it's on the west side of the building, playing towards the east. So as you can see, we can do a lot of different arrangement, production setups. A lot of these events take a significant amount of production support. So you can see all the production support system. These are days in advance. So over the weekends there are crazy weather times, which we'll kind of talk about here in a minute. But we had multiple teams from both the Kansas Chamber as well as their production service teams coming in and setting up, in addition to our team kind of doing all of the table arrangement setup. As you can tell, we're not done yet. We've still got a lot of support to provide throughout the day to get ready for tonight's event. So,
Kellen, the area behind you.
yeah. That is the concession area, which is, you can kind of see the black metal bannering right above it. So that is the entire new concession area for all of Exhibition. In addition to that, to the right and left of those spaces are emergency egress, storage areas, additional bathroom infrastructure, both down here on the south end and as we get further to the north end. Roll-up doors and access for walk-in freezer and coolers. The concession stands just here. We also store the carpeting there for the space.
When we were doing the renovation, we had looked at future opportunities for kitchen space there.
There's a pretty significant amount of kitchen space in that concession stand. There's multiple reach-in refrigeration and freezer units, as well as a walk-in freeze, deep freeze, and refrigerator. There's a ton of support cooking infrastructure in there with hoods and fire suppression. So there's
Full
a lot
fryers,
of
hood systems, laptops, 20 square foot walk-in cooler, 10 by 12, 20 by 20, 10 by 12 freezer, with room to grow and add more equipment as the facility grows.
Any other questions for this space? All right, let's make our way back into the arena so we can get out of these guys there.
Check it out. Henry McClure live down here at the Expo Hall. This is the work session of the Shawnee County Commission. And this is the way to work it out. Hi. I like field trips, tours. What, do you work here?
I do.
What's your name?
My name's Michelle. Michelle Rose. I'm Director of Partnerships.
Hey, Henry McClure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to see you. Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. You know what I heard? I heard that you basically got a restaurant. You just need an operator.
Absolutely. And lots of people. I'm still recording. Yes.
Yeah. Do you want me to turn it
The
off?
whole thing.
I will, because if you want to say something off color.
Well, then
They're used. My viewers are used to it.
I'd be like, hey, you need to shut that off real quick.
I don't shut it off. Mine's all unadulterated Henry McClure.
Yeah, at this point, maybe that's best, huh?
You know, if you watch my videos, if you look close enough, you can see my Wing King trophy.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
I'm proud of it.
Good. You should be. That was a fun year.
Yeah.
That was a fun year.
Good morning. Hey, Ryan. Good morning.
Check with, hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Are you going to be good if the crew goes through there, or you guys?
No, come on. Yeah, come on in.
So our space lends itself to a lot of unique opportunities for events. We have the ability to not only load in events through our loading dock area, but for larger events like Cirque du Soleil, which typically produce somewhere in the middle of winter when it's freezing and snowing outside. We have the ability to bring all of those semi-trucks into Exhibition Hall as a staging facility and offload all of that production equipment in here. We've done that before. I think we've had as many as 13 semi-trucks in this space for that production load for Cirque du Soleil. This air wall will fully retract and allow unencumbered access into Landon Arena for the production of that space. We oftentimes have monster trucks going in and out of this area, or demo cars, or motorcycles, or semis loading in for events and that type of thing. So a lot of opportunity here in the space. This portion of the space renovation here used to be the old concession stand for Exhibition Hall. That was enclosed. The window for that concession stand actually ran diagonal on this wall behind this column line. We finished out the build of these walls and connected them, and then had our kitchen, our full production and commercial style kitchen placed in this space here. So we'll take a quick run through there. Please keep in mind that they are cooking and prepping food for this evening's event, so try not to eat anything on your way through.
I'm tasting. I'm definitely tasting.
Rich, hands in your pocket. In your pocket.
We don't have to wear hairnets. It's pretty embarrassing if it's a nightclub.
It's more embarrassing at the petting zoo.
It's 2 early in the morning for ball jokes. Those don't start till like 11.
Always have a
Good morning.
comeback, though. Where's the comeback?
I just delivered it.
No, that was dangerous.
Come on, let's get. What do you guys think of the tour? You having a good time?
Pretty good so far.
All right. No comment from WIBW.
Well, I'm just taking it all in.
It's all right. I'm not picking on you. Not much. Office space, check it out. So they're preparing food so we can't taste it, right? Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
You want to say hi?
Hello.
You're live on the Henry McClure live show.
Good morning. You know, over the last year and a half since OVG's taken over and the renovations, you know, they add the hood system. We've been slowly adding more and more equipment, allowing us to do 100% made from scratch menus. We just added combi ovens. We put in a new dishwasher for higher volume to make us more efficient and be able to serve the guests a lot easier. We're working on getting the toast skillet and charcoal installed. We got full fryers, everything you need for us to make a from scratch menu. Is Lamona back there, guys? No, okay. Well, we brought in Chef Scroggins, Lamona Scroggins. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her from around town, as our executive chef, and she's really helped us improve our suite menus and our catering service. You're looking at it, you know, and as we grow and we do more, we'll slowly add little pieces to allow us to service the community here. One of the most exciting parts about this kitchen, it's allowed us with, for me, is the community Thanksgiving. So we moved that from Ag Hall down here, and then they come in every year and utilize this kitchen. So for that week, we do no events, and we allow the community to come in and we can feed and we'll help that event grow. And by utilizing our equipment, it reduces the amount of resources they need. So every dollar goes almost double the amount of weight that they need to feed the community. So that's probably the most exciting part for me with this kitchen.
I know it doesn't look extremely huge, and it's not, but the space can facilitate fully plated service catered meal events for, I mean, we've done close to 1,500 plated meals for the governor's inaugural ball, which was back in January of 2023. number of those, not that size, but a number of events between the 500 to 1,000 person range throughout the year. So it's a great support system. It's a brand new piece of business for the facility that the facility has never produced before. So it's an awesome opportunity and allows us to bring additional added benefit to hosting your events here.
It sounds like the new space is more deluxe in the other building. Why don't you just use it day to day? Behind the bar over there, you have, Ryan was saying you got flat.
That's a concession stand setup area, so we utilize that for trade show and concessions. And then when we're doing multiple events, large events like Kansas Kids Wrestling, we utilize those concessions. We also have another full kitchen facility up on the concourse, what we call our classics. And it allows us to pull off the events. So if we have, 10, 15, 20,000 persons, or an event in Ag Hall, an event in Heritage, Domer's full force, we can do a full plated meal. We can do a 6,000 person concert. We could function all food and hospitality needs out of the services for these multiple kitchens and venues. And it's important too to have those resources, so when we do those events, we can separate our resources, and it allows us to provide more hospitality. Because the other aspects that we do outside of when you come to a concert here is we are doing all the backstage. So all of the stars service their production teams. We do service breakfast, lunch, and dinner for them, and provide services for the production teams and the meals for the bands coming through and their crews. And so it's really important that we have all those different venues. And the one thing that this kitchen features, it allows us to focus more here on the catering, where the other ones allow us to split off and focus more on the concessions. And as this industry grows, something that we've been working on are doing more grab and goes and more express lanes to kind of match with the larger markets, increase our speed of service, and be able to get our ticket goers through the lines faster. And those concessions will have that equipment and that setup. So they're the same, but they're different.
Thank you.
All right, we'll keep going through this space here and hang a right.
It just sounded like the other one was more deluxe.
That's more of the concessions catering. This is the catered kitchen. It's more of the ovens and all of things.
It's the way you
Watch your
fold
head,
it.
guys.
You want the other one. That's fine.
Well, it sounded like it was bigger and better and newer.
It was new. It is newer. Correct.
But Ryan said you'll exploit it all, so that's good.
Will. All of it. Every inch.
All right, here we are. Commissioner, what do you think? We're glad to have you on the show today.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Hey, Commissioner Bill Rapon live. He is alive and well.
I hope so.
Someday I'll tell you about him being an oil baron.
Okay, so this space saw a lot of renovation in the project, starting from seating to the addition of 4 suite boxes, and then also a loge box party box area down here on the east end of the building. A lot of these spaces were supported through not only the vision of the renovation and project itself, but also the ability to get buy-in from the community in these spaces. And a big piece of that was our partners like Prairie Band, who sponsored the End Zone Bar here on the east end of the building. That's probably our most popular space in the facility during our live events. That's everything from concerts to basketball to demolition derbies to motocross to just about everything. And the real reason that that's the most popular space is one, it's the only space in the building that you can order a cocktail and not miss a single minute of the action. And two, it's a really fun kind of open air space. The majority of those loge boxes are owned by sponsors of the venue. We only have about, I think, 7 or 8 box tables open out of that space, so the majority of those are owned by sponsors. In addition to that, we recently just installed the upper balcony masking curtains. Those allow for a significant reduction in sound bounce, improvement of the acoustic ability of the space when we're doing smaller shows, smaller concert shows. And when I say smaller, I'm talking, about 3,500 or less, where we're just seating in the lower bowl and on the floor. rest of the renovation project, you'll see a lot of LED ribbon boards on the north and south sides of the building. Our center hung Jumbotron LED display, but then also the entire lighting system got overhauled. These are full LED, RGB controlled lighting systems. Once we get up to the concourse, we'll kind of run through a light sequence and then do some sound sequencing as well, so you can kind of see the renovations to our audio-visual system as well. There's a lot that went into this space, and it has added a lot of value, not only to the production quality of the space, but just more of a patron experience, forward-thinking model of how we produce the events in Langdon Arena. We haven't seen yet, but we also expanded the northeast entry quite a bit off of the space. If you remember, in the past, there used to be a large concrete stair bank that got you into the arena. That has went away, and we added in a more streamlined, modern aesthetic, which added to the exterior aesthetic of the facility quite a bit, and that is our main concourse thoroughway for ingress and egress for patrons during our events. It also allowed us to put in support systems that support our security and prohibited items locations, our full walkthrough metal detection and magnetometer systems to make sure that we're providing a safe space for everybody to come and watch their favorite show or their kids graduate. It can't be raised all the way up to the field, or all the way to the ground, and actually on hooks, and we can roll that into the exhibition hall if we ever need to.
And then we've got the banner boards that go around the side.
Yep, those are the ribbon panels that run on the north and south side of the building. Those are fully controlled through our production sound booth up here, which you can kind of see right over my right shoulder. It's a really fun space, and it adds a lot of value. If you haven't come to an event since the renovation, I highly encourage you to do that. Not only is the sound quality so much better, also the production elements and your patron experience is extremely elevated.
So we don't have coffee right now, but if we had an event that had needed ice,
Yep.
we still have our ice plant.
We sure do. We do. It's actually, you can kind of see the perimeter of it around the concrete where you see that gap that has a bunch of concrete anchor sleeves on the back side of that. That is basically the circumference of the ice floor itself. We have a full dasher system with hockey glass, all of our hockey infrastructure in the event we need to continue to produce hockey or produce other ice content like Disney on Ice or Cirque du Soleil has a couple ice shows. We have the ability to produce all of that content. All right, door floor. What's that? That's just wear and tear over time. It has no real.
Is that anything that we need to address, or anything that we would need in the capital outlay?
Not for the conference.
Okay. Just as we're walking, we're talking about budgets and future needs.
Yeah. Capital infrastructure for upcoming, and this is probably a great segue to bring Mike in from the Topeka Area Sports Commission. Mike Bell, everybody, is going to be the basketball floor that we currently have for the property. That is going to need some repair. It's going to need refurbishment, some shimming up of those boards and repair of that surface. And then also what we'll be looking at is the capital investment procurement for the sport court activation, both in Landon Arena and Exhibition Hall. So in your packets, you'll see some modified layouts, some estimated cost of that sport court system. A lot of this, just so you're aware, took place last year. Last year we did apply for a SPARK grant through the state of Kansas. I know a number of our counterparts, not only in the state but also even some county departments, applied
applied for those Spark grants, and we really see the need and the opportunity for those for that piece of infrastructure is in the sport space. And so that's been a large focus for us over the past year by one, applying for that grant. Unfortunately, we're not awarded that grant, but that is still an area of opportunity that we see probably has the most benefit for us. Yeah.
So I look at this sport court idea, and I see what goes on in Topeka. Like a couple weekends ago, they had the Governor's Cup soccer out there, and the number of people that were in this town for a youth sports activity looked like it was an incredible revenue generator for the city. And I see this idea of having indoor sports, like when you go to Kansas City, this the volleyball tournaments, things like that, that bring people from all over the region, all over the country. It looks like a great idea for Topeka to try to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
The regional opportunities to bring families in and spend, great economic opportunities for Topeka. So I'm glad to see you're following up on that idea with this proposal that you're looking at with the commission.
Yeah, in fact, this morning we were hoping to have Mark Evans here. Mark Evans is a event producer in our market, among other things, in his normal day-to-day job. But he produces a very big piece of youth sports business called Impact Volleyball. Impact Volleyball used to be hosted at the facility. It moved off before we got the renovations going and moved over to Lawrence, but both Mike and myself have been courting Mark pretty strongly over the last couple of years, probably Mike more so than myself, but he has indicated he wants to come back.
I think just looking at the facility and the impact that the sport court could have is, one, we're a winter destination half the year, so putting sports indoors makes a lot of sense. We have currently the sports zone, which is a great facility. It's a smaller facility. It's one that we can't host, let's just say 16 volleyball courts on. Just isn't there. And with AAU, with USA Volleyball and several other pieces, the volleyball component is huge. That doesn't even count to basketball. We have a lot of need for basketball. We have almost all of our basketball families leaving the city to play. So that's one thing that we think if we can just retain a little bit of it, it'll be a huge economic impact and something for our city and our citizens.
So cost. If we wanted to outfit the facility, you said 16 volleyball courts.
About 15.
Volleyball courts.
Yeah.
And that would be exhibition hall, or would that be exhibition hall and landing?
It would be 12 in X Hall and 4 in Landon.
Okay. What would it cost for us to be able to outfit that entire operation?
Well, it's right there, page 3 of your packet, about $405,000.
Okay. And then I'm sure that we're looking at what the return of investment, how long that would take us to be able to recoup that from events, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Page 2 of that packet is an estimated event pro forma. These are pretty conservative estimations, but it looks like we're probably close to a 5 to 7 year payback on that piece of infrastructure. The beauty of Sport Court and the suppliers that we have gone through for some of our initial bids on this Sport Court surface is, one, most of them come with a 10 to a 15 year warranty on the surface. In addition to that, most of them have an estimated lifespan of at least 20 years. So once we get through that first 5 to 7 year payback period on that return of that investment, everything from that point on, we're looking at, net profit gains on that content.
That's the return on investment. Strong on Bill investment, right? Shawnee County, not tourism.
Correct. That is just investment on the infrastructural spend provided by, that capital funding to support this piece of infrastructure.
And then if we wanted to do basketball in addition to volleyball, that's a different type of court.
Same court, different type of, different support infrastructure pieces. So what we haven't talked about is we're looking specifically at the court. Some of those additional support infrastructure pieces are going to be for volleyball, your netting systems. We're still going to have to bring those in and rent those or produce those for the space. But a lot of those costs can be supported through the event producer if they don't have to pay the tens of thousands of dollars to bring the sport court surface into the facility. For basketball, we're talking things like goal systems. We can support having the flooring and the flooring system, as well as the storage for that infrastructure on site. Some of the other ancillary support pieces that are going to be needed to produce that content are things that are going to have to be rented in addition to the sport court itself.
So if we did basketball, what would that equate to as far as basketball?
We're not going to have as many. We haven't run that calculation, but
Half,
Go ahead.
essentially. So you're buying full basketball that would equate to 2 volleyballs.
the court system that we've requested is multi-sport use, right? So we can do one of two things. We can have the lines printed and painted in when we get the flooring system, or we can do what most of the events do, which is temporarily put the lines in after you lay the court surface. So they basically have a tape, a very specific sport tape that allows you to tape out the playing surface lines for those.
And I was at a trade show just this past week and talking to some of my peers, and they do the non-tape. You know, they lay them down themselves, and it's something that's doing this is very prevalent, especially in the Northeast and the North. Atlantic City Convention Center is a really good example. They did this exact same thing, putting down these sport courts, lining themselves, and multi-sport discipline.
How does that equate to pickleball?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could even believe it or not, our local roller derby team years ago, or they went to the nationals this year, right? Years ago, it was held in Omaha, and it was on sport court, the roller derby championship. So it is one that you could play pickleball, volleyball, basketball. You can play just a variety of sports on it. It's not that hard concrete.
Yeah, it's really anything. You could do any court surface type of sporting activity on top of this surface.
But it's a non-permanent surface. It's something that can be picked up, moved
Correct.
out, so you can have your trade show, your dinners, your banquets, and your sports.
100%. 100%. And then we also, as part of our future thought process, is with the renovation of our current court system that we have, which is an older court, but it's very durable, it's sturdy. It does need some repairs, but that can be the court that's placed in the arena side and used more as your highlight court, right? So your championship court, if you will, for both volleyball and basketball. And you have the arena aspect around that court. Whereas, a lot of your play-in games and your early tournament games can both be played in Exhibition Hall and Landon Arena. Once we get towards the end of that weekend and we're playing for championships, this is a key highlight space to be able to produce that over that new court surface that we're going to renovate.
Tell maybe Mike, I know I get asked, when are we going to get state basketball back? Or when are we going to get the state tournaments back? That's a big thing. Sean Dixon, we get asked that a lot.
So I can answer state basketball for you very easily. We took, years ago, Kansas Kids Wrestling changed their date for their tournament, which falls exactly on state basketball. And we had a very long-term relationship with Kansas Kids Wrestling. Brings 7,000 people to our destination that weekend, and we made the choice to go with Kansas Kids Wrestling during that weekend. That's not to say that it'll always be here. It's not to say that we couldn't go back to state basketball, but one of those would have to move dates for them to come back. That being said, quite frankly, Acacia Volleyball will not use this facility based on existing court facilities. So there's a great opportunity to get state volleyball back to play, but they've got to have the surface. They just will not play on what we have existing. So one, unfortunately, we've got a different economic model that we went for on that weekend. But two, there are opportunities out there, and I think with this increased flooring space and capacity, we can really get it going on that.
Kellen, when you guys did your state wrestling here, Kansas Kids Wrestling, do you own the mats, or do you rent those or borrow them? Or?
We do not. I believe they're donated through.
So USA Wrestling sources those. There are a couple different ways. One, they have a mat sponsor that they have for some of them, and actually Mays Wrestling owns 16 of the courts. Okay. So a club actually owns courts that they donate for kids wrestling.
What about turf when we do like indoor football? Do we have turf or?
We do not own turf for the facility. No, the turf that was used for, let's say, our indoor football tenant was owned by the tenant team themselves.
The turf is still on site though, right?
I do not believe so.
Outside of the sport court, are there other capital things that you're thinking about for your 2025 budget for this space?
Yeah, we do have a number. We've got an 8-year CIP plan that we've developed. We are in the process, since we're getting ready to submit our 2025 budget, we are in the process of prioritizing that. But there's a number of items in our CIP plan as we look towards the future. Some of those are things specific to this facility, like the court surface renovations, but there's also a number of other items. We've got a party platform in the CIP, which would reside right here. Now we are working on other ways to still get that party platform without the county investment dollars through sponsorship provision, and that's something that Michelle is working on. We've had active conversations for that party platform space with 2 different providers. So there's a number of things. I don't have all of them off the top of my head, but I can certainly look at those to you. Matt probably has a bit more information on our CIP projections for the future.
Sure.
Or items that we're looking at.
Correct. Ag Hall, of course, we've met and discussed the different improvements that we'd like to make at Ag Hall. I believe that we were looking at the security camera system as well for this space, the parking lot, exhibition hall, Domer, Ag and Heritage, campus-wide, basically. Currently, we do not have anything in our facilities, Ag Hall, Heritage, or Domer, and we do not have any coverage of the parking lot with our security camera system. So that was something we were looking at adding on the CIP.
Hey, Henry, maybe you can cut that part out.
No, I was thinking when we move the sheriffs up here, we give them a little more dough.
One other good segue for CIP is we're currently undergoing our CIP project for 2024, which consists of renovations to Heritage Hall. So I'll let Matt give a quick update on where we're at on that project.
Correct. We just got bids submitted about a week and a half ago for the air handling and HVAC systems at Heritage Hall. I'll be presenting that Thursday to the commission for their approval to get that signed into contract. After that, we'll be replacing doors, windows. We have some glass up there that has lost its seals and fogs up and looks pretty bad, so that's getting replaced. New chairs, new tables. We're going to do a bunch of exterior work to put in some permanent fencing instead of the line of demarcation that we currently use for to prevent alcohol from leaving the facility. We're going to dress that up a lot, as well as some new concrete areas to help maybe have like an outdoor bar area for some of these weddings and private events that we host up there.
Have we looked into making this a common consumption area, like what they're doing downtown?
We have not. A couple years back, I was fairly involved in some of the common consumption area participation as it pertains to downtown, but I don't know. I haven't looked into it recently, but I'm not sure if I have an update.
Ryan's got connections.
That is a great idea, though. It certainly would allow us to, have a little bit more flexibility in the sale and distribution of alcohol on the property. Last thing I had on my list to chapter was regional booking support for our company. So there has been some additional commitment made there from our corporate.
This is economic
Increase
development.
the amount of regional
Right here.
banking activities in
Yeah.
our space. We're a couple months out from kind of fully rolling out that template, but what that means for our facility and for the community is, hopefully an increase in our live entertainment bookings and a bit more promoter involvement to reduce the amount of financial risk that the building currently supports on some of those booking activities coming into the building. So exciting stuff. I know it doesn't really mean anything now, but as we move into the future, it certainly brings a lot more opportunity.
Got a show next week.
We do have a show next week. We also have a show we're announcing tomorrow. A big concert we're announcing tomorrow that'll be in conjunction with the Shawnee County Fair. So I'll give you a quick tease. It's a classic rock show, and it'll be on Thursday, July 25th, I believe is the date. So that's an exciting announcement and piece of business for you to keep your eye on for tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., right?
Kellen, before we go upstairs or look at the golf course, do you mind if we take a step out to look at this alleyway that we...
Sure, yeah.
That was a point of renovation last year.
Correct, yeah. We just renovated and resurfaced.
If you ask me, this is economic development.
Service drive.
Instead of giving Go Topeka $5 million a year and letting them party on, dude, let's get that $5 million sent over here. Give it to them for a year. Oh man, it's nice. It's nice and cool out here.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a little...
This is economic development. We need to dump some money in this for you.
Yeah.
Vote for Henry McClure, County Commissioner.
There you go.
Good morning, Tyler.
We had to work to find one, but we found a road without walking on.
Sure. I'll see what I can do on the editing. I didn't catch on. A little slow.
This space out here was tackled last year in great partnership with Shawnee County Public Works. Matt can talk a lot more about the detail. This is definitely more his realm than mine, but this piece of the service drive all the way up to basically the south end of Exoduster Boulevard there was completely tore up and remilled and resurfaced for the space. Also this patch of concrete here. In addition to that, as part of the renovation project was a full resurfacing. Some portions full depth replacement. Most of the portions in the parking lot were mill and overlay. But we also have, as a portion of that renovation budget, was set aside for parking lot services, parking lot resurface work.
This is economic development.
We plan to
You got
look
that?
at
No
that
potholes.
probably for 25,
Did you get your cookie?
26,
I did, thank you.
to do some sealing, restriping of that parking
Okay,
lot.
I'll
Continue
forgive
to
it.
maintain its function,
I haven't had a chance to
so
talk
we
to
don't get potholes. And we keep that
You're a good man.
service really nice. So, Matt, I don't know if you have anything else.
Said it all.
Okay.
Covered all the bases.
All right.
I bet the elephants enjoyed it.
Softer, yeah, softer.
No pothole.
I know, they don't have to dodge anything.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extension office is right up in our...
Go on. We're listening. Hey, Commissioner Cook wants to tell you the extension office is up there.
In your garden.
Yes, demonstration gardens and kind of there.
I was the run of the litter. You had to speak up.
Not for me.
This is economic development. We need to get you some more money.
Absolutely, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Pick the guy. You're getting second place.
I know where I can find $5 million.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I know right where to find it.
Hurry, treasurer.
Go to Topeka, reallocate the funds, use it for actual economic development. Catch that? Everybody will think I own this place. Hey, don't do. He probably's got a piece of the deal. That's kind of funny. This has just got so much potential.
There's a lot. It's a great space since renovation.
It seems like you're halfway on every deal. You know what I mean? Well, we need the floor for that deal. Okay, let's get the floor. We need the carpet. Okay.
Well, that's the good thing about flat shows. So, like, I work with promoters that I just give them a blank floor. They
Right.
bring in pipe and drape. They bring in the vendors. They do the ticketing. Like, we handle the ticketing, but they have their own prices.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that give us
Is
more
as where
revenue.
is, and you get deals.
If people bring it into our space, that's where our money is. Because we're not.
It's like an empty mall you put your own store in.
Sure. Sure.
The news guys are lagging. Come on. This is probably the good conversation right here. These guys go to all the events. They know what's going on in the community. That's just me talking out loud. What, Eric sleep in today?
He gets a day off once in a while.
All right. So let's do that. Where's Eric Ives on his day off?
He's on the golf course having a little fun.
You know, his brother's in the golfing business.
Yes.
I looked at that guy and I go, you've got to be related. Yes, sir. Did I what?
Did you spill all this beer?
No, I'm telling you, I'm 9 years off the sauce.
Yeah, but you may have dumped some out here just to do
But I'm
some
telling you
social
what,
work.
when I was drinking, that's my size of can, baby.
Yeah.
Always getting picked on. Everybody always picks on the alcoholic. I like the common consumption idea. That's a good idea. I just want a coffee shop. I just need coffee.
This space right here was an addition to the arena in our food and beverage services division. So this is kind of what we commonly refer to as our food court area. So we have Happy Basket Brewing Craft Beer Garden right here. This is an additional support window. We sometimes use it for full service bar sales. Vendor merch, band merch for when we do concerts.
Merchandise for you.
Concourse area.
Yeah, merch for you guys
Cooking concession
that aren't
stand on
the cool kids.
referred to as fresh classics. This is where you're going to get kind of more of your staple concessions foods. And then in addition to these spaces, all of the concession stands got refaced and rebranded from the inside out. So a lot of all the cabinetry, countertops, and stainless steel surfaces, and roll-up doors, and the additional support infrastructure to provide the services for our food and beverage department, all kind of got touched in the renovation. We have 4 what we call kind of portable alcoves on the concourse, 2 on this north side, 2 on the south side. What Ryan's team has done is transition one of these on the north end to the grab-and-go station. So that's more of a kind of patrons just walk through, pick up what they want, process their transaction, and service, in addition to the elements that they can get from a normal concession stand. Also in some of these spaces we do third-party contracted vendors, things like Kona Ice, coffee vendors, again some support pieces for like vendor merch or sponsor stations.
You can't get enough coffee.
As we make our way down the hallway here, Coors Light and Miller Coors is our branded domestic beer partner at the facility. And so they have a contracted space there right at the top of the escalator and top of the stairs. It's very prevalent. They love it. We love it. It looks awesome. You can see it from Topeka Boulevard at nighttime when the lights are on. So a really fun space with a portable sales station located right below the signage there. In addition to that, the new stairwell entrance, the escalator bank, and our new northeast main entry point were a big piece of this portion of the renovation project. Yeah, Wi-Fi. Premier One is our IT partner at the facility, and they provided Wi-Fi infrastructure that they tell me can support up to 10,000 people with no download loss. We've certainly seen it be a huge benefit for some of our larger events like Kansas Kids Wrestling and Demolition Derbies, which acts as a great piece of infrastructure for the facility.
Kellen, with the remodeling, what is our actual maximum seating capacity for the arena?
Yeah, if we do in the round, we're close to 9,000. If we do a traditional concert set, which is going to be a stage here at the west end of the building, playing towards the east and the full sides, we're closer to just over 7.
In about a month, we have graduations.
Yep.
May 8th, May 19th for all high schools. We're expecting a lot of people here. Are we going to have any of our concession stands open during that time?
We will have
maybe not happy basketball.
What's that?
Maybe not happy basketball.
Yeah, right. We won't have the concession service.
Get them started early. Well, the parents.
Grab-and-go services for bottled beverage.
We need it.
Which will be a first this year. We've never done that in the past. As you can imagine, doing 3 very large graduations in the same day doesn't need a whole lot of time in between graduations to, one, get people out and get the new graduation folks in the building, but also 2, cleaning and support infrastructure to be able to provide that. So, but we are doing bottled beverages for graduations this year. That's everything from water to bottled soda to Gatorade to beer. Probably not beer.
No, we will have our we will have a coffee truck here though for that.
I want to be at that 7th booth.
One big thing about F&B though that I'm excited.
Sponsor in the Prairie Band.
Michelle and I worked really hard.
How much?
Recently are adding pineapple drink. Is going to have a full-time stand here. They just went into an agreement with us for the next couple of years. So we are excited to have local business coming here and join the crew. And we'll be taking over one of the stands for all live events. And so I'm excited to be a part of it. So
So good.
We'll keep walking down this space here. We can see the entryway and the
Table on the
escalator.
party deck. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
And then we're gonna have
the whole
Matt
thing.
do
So
some
the
fun
four
little lighting
tops
testing
are
for us. when we get
14,000
down to
for
Prairie
every
Band.
ticket for the whole year, and that will include tickets to the events over in the exhibition hall, so all the trade shows, get you into everything. And then the 2 top tables are, don't help me on this, 8
Okay.
to 9.
Well, yeah, this is just off the cuff. I'm not going to hold you to the 14,000.
A lot of people want the 4 tops because it's hard to come to an event with just 2 people.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll do a 4 top and a 2 top, or they'll do 2 4 tops.
So look, we ought to look into this.
Yes.
We should get them
They're so
all
much fun.
leased up.
Yes. We've only got 4 tops left and 3 or 4 2 tops.
All right. Let's get them leased up.
Maybe I have 2 that may go soon. So.
All right.
We may be down to 2.
So this space, for the majority of our events, is where just about 75% of our patron traffic comes through this northeast entry. It is the highlight space of kind of the renovation for the patron entry point area. So we've got the escalator, which is reversible. We can bring it up when crowds are heavy on the end and take it down when the crowds are heavy on the out. We've got the ability to produce our security services down there, our patron checkpoint areas to make sure no prohibited items are making their way into the building. We're very focused on safety and increased safety, especially given recent events. And that's a key focus for us to make sure that everybody who comes to enjoy themselves at our facilities feel safe in doing so, and provide that space and that peace of mind for them while they're here. So we work in conjunction with two third-party contracted service providers, as well as the Shawnee County Sheriff's Department, as well as our in-house event and security service teams.
Kellen, any problems with the windows leaking? Any issues?
Nope. Okay. Nope. Tough to clean. When you get heavy windstorms and rainstorms, it creates a little bit more opportunity to clean those windows. But other than that, that's the only thing. Does give you a beautiful view of the parking lot and Cape Boulevard. Got that. We'll see if weather's coming. Head over to the in-zone bar and the party deck area.
You'd be a great guest on the Henry McClure live show.
Oh, I am terrible by it.
Well, I make up for it. I make you look good. Oh, wow. Check it out. He's got it all fired up. This is quite an asset.
All right, Matt's going to do some fun stuff with the lighting package. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with these lights. Chase sequences, they can go red, white, and blue flashing for national anthems. They're fully scalable to television quality and NCAA and professional NBA spec, so we can get the candlelight footprint for the space to where it has to be for national broadcast television, which is exciting. I think he's going to play some music for us too on our new sound system. We just replaced some of the subwoofers in the ceiling. They don't last a significantly long time when you do big concerts and the audio engineers crank the system to its max capacity. So. The ribbon board panels you can see are running through our sponsor lineup. So these are all sponsors of the facility, as well as our Jumbotron center home billboard. Cable Domer is our box office naming rights partner of the facility. Logan Business Machines, or LBM Solutions, provides a lot of our printing services for the facility. They print a lot of the banners that you see in the arena. Here's some of the chase sequencing that you're seeing from the lighting package.
You're in the right place.
Pepsi is our pouring rights partner for all things carbonated soda beverages, teas and coffee, and water. I'm trying to kill time and wait for music to start playing. If anybody has any questions, have
Your
me answer
district?
those.
No.
Any hospitality questions? Any food and
I
beverage?
believe it's Kevin.
I just want coffee.
Don't we all?
A reformed anything's terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, Great Life. There we go, baby. Great Life. I'll bet you Great Life has got a booth here. What do you want to bet? I don't know. I'm thinking about a two-top. Might be able to swing a two-top as soon as I get Whataburger done.
I'm gonna miss the old location. I'm gonna miss the old location.
Just right down the street, right across from the sauce.
Really? Yeah, I missed that. The old Arby's building. It's been a bunch of different things since then.
Oh, now they're saying opening in June.
Oh, look at it. Look at it.
You know your mom, they popped that place up like overnight. They tore down a building, put up a new building.
Well, I'll tell you
So-
what, let's look at one of the suites while we're waiting on music.
The more creative.
Yes, sir. Get her in here. And
Typical show, right? The technical difficulties.
If I had a nickel.
Here, what's your name?
Matthew.
Matthew.
27 News.
27 News.
I'm Doug.
We know Doug.
WWW.
We know Doug. I didn't know Matthew, though.
You know me if you checking in the morning.
And my name's Henry McClure. I'm proud of my last name.
There you go.
You know, when you got schools named after your grandfather, you know, that's what you do.
So these suites are brand new as the renovation as well. There's only 4. They used to be concession stands. We had to remove concession stands to build suites, which we added those concessions back in over on the food court area that we talked about and saw before.
How much would these
So they are anywhere from $30,000 a year to $50,000 a year. Yeah, we have 3 of them owned. So Custom Sheet Metal and Happy Basket Brewing owns one right next to us. Ernest Spencer Metals and Ernest Spencer Companies owns the one with the big ES on it. And then the Stormont logoed one there is Stormont Metals. And then this one is the buildings. We use this for business development purposes. If Michelle has a client she's trying to wine and dine to bring in to the facility for a sponsorship package or a partnerships element, or we sometimes utilize it for guests who are coming into the facility. So for our Latin show, we actually hosted the promoters' guests, which was another promoter based out of Wichita for Latin concert content. So we hosted them and their family up here. Again, just anything we can do to try and drum up more business for the building and more content for the building. That's what we utilize this space.
And just a touch too on the Stormont suite. I love how they structure it. None of their doctors or C-suite employees can utilize the suite. It all goes to below C-suite employees, and they can raffle those tickets off for it or put their name in the hat. Sometimes they do drawings. They use it for different various activities, but they do a great job of rotating it through all of their employees so everyone has access to it.
What about if you're born there?
I don't think so.
I don't think it matters.
I want some street credit.
I don't think it matters.
it's definitely a fun space, an enjoyable space to watch the events. A lot of our partners who utilize the suites have children. This is a great opportunity for them to kind of cut loose and run wild in here and not have to worry about getting lost amongst the crowd and enjoy themselves.
Well, and and like with Kansas Kids Wrestling, this is sort of the hub for the management of the event too.
Correct. Yeah.
They kind of take over this suite.
Yep. They use this as a production area and their head table, so they have a lot of their referees, event producers, the tournament director housed out of this location. It gives them a view of all the mats and watching the progress as it goes and calling the shots from up here. It's a fun spot. I don't know if we're gonna get any music today, guys.
It's loud.
Yeah. It is very loud.
That just means you'll have to come back.
Our production
We can hum
director
it, too.
is not on site today.
No.
He usually runs that.
And there's lots of buttons. Matt's probably in there just doing this.
There was. The problem is we have nowhere to move it to.
Upper deck won't work.
No, because you'd have to lose one of these ingress.
I'll go that way. No, wait.
Yeah. Sure. There you go.
Anything else you want us to see?
I think that was it. We were gonna do some music, but apparently there are technical difficulties.
Frosty had done a software update. I need to go upstairs and reboot before it'll go again. So there you go. Fun times.
I don't know if we want to walk all the way up there or not. Do you want to talk to us about Heritage Hall and some of the needs there? And
the needs are being addressed by the capital improvement fund that was allocated to us last year for this year. So by probably late June, early July, we should have the HVAC upgrades in place and running. Like I said earlier, we're going to be redoing all of the damaged glass panels and getting those resealed, door hardware, things like that, as well as interior painting, exterior renovations with concrete surfaces, potentially looking at removing the gazebo and placing a different, more modern structure there that's not, 1986. So yeah, we've got a long list of things. Bree's list has included chairs and tables for that space for 12 years. So that's finally going to get tackled this year as well. So it should become a much nicer space for sure.
Yeah, Domer Livestock Facility is up and running. We're just gearing back up into the busy season for that building. We picked up a couple new pieces of business that are new to the facility that have not been in market before. Coming from, I believe, Oklahoma is one.
Yeah.
Matt can talk a little bit about that more. The director of our equine and livestock manager is under Matt's department, so I don't know if you have any more update there.
Yeah, so late in May, we'll host the Sooner State Peruvians. So they are leaving their facility in Oklahoma and coming up here. They're also they've kind of turned it into a regional show, so now we'll have Texas and Colorado clubs joining as well, so it'll make it a much larger show. They're really happy with the facility and everything we have to offer over there. Later on this year, we also will be hosting a promoter from Nebraska for Cutting Horse, National Cutting Horse Show. So that'll bring quite a bit of activity to that space, which is something that has been on the decline in the past couple of years. So we're looking forward to growing some of these shows. Hopefully they'll spread the word and attract a little more business our way as well.
Do we operate the concession stand over there too?
We do.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we operate the food and beverage for the entire campus.
Candace, I know that your space is an OVG maintained, but do you want to talk about your space and how you guys are coming needs of your facility since we're here, how your needs and things we need to be on our radar?
I would just say probably on the commission's radar is the parking lot in front was redone with when the renovation was over, but now our employee parking on the side at some point needs to be on the radar. But our office fits our needs well. We have 2 meeting rooms, which our community partners and our extension groups use extensively. One is upstairs, kind of attached to Manor Conference Center, and one is in the back of our office, and those are used daily. But yeah.
Any other things, Commissioners Rippon, Mays, anything you guys want to look at or see or?
I mean, did you get the bathroom fixed in Ag Hall?
Yes, mostly.
As much as you can do.
Yeah, there's some stuff that we're not going to be able to tackle into without some serious renovation funding. But for the immediate needs, yes, we have allocated some dollars there. We've also tried to spruce up that facility a little bit with fresh paint, fresh stalls, and that kind of thing.
I believe there's about 25,000 in CIP set aside for the bathroom.
Correct.
This is the best work session we've had. Good job.
Thanks, sir. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then we're adjourned until Thursday. So thanks for guys coming out. Thanks for having us here.
Do you concur?
Oh yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Henry McClure Live. We're going to get him on the Henry McClure Live show, get his viewership up.
Well, there we go.
He's a good kid. I can tell he's a hard worker.
Appreciate it.
All right. I'm live, Henry McClure.